Chemical changes is a process that changes a group of substances into something else. The first way is heat. The second way is gas. The third way is color. In color, you would add a substance to change the original substance. A precipitate happens in solids.
Symbols. We use the symbol plus to separate reactants and products. We also use the arrow, which means yields or produces. Also, we use two arrows sometimes, which means that the reaction is reversible. We use letters as symbols, S for solid, L for liquid, G for gas, and AQ, which means dissolved in water.
Law of conservation of mass. This law states that matter cannot be created or destroyed. In other words, meaning that when a chemical reaction occurs, mass cannot be added or taken away before nor after a reaction. In equation form, mass of reactants equals the mass of products. Equations should be balanced. And why? Because of the law of conservation of mass. When equations are balanced, there should be an equal number of atoms of each element on each side of the chemical equation.
Equations. You don't have to balance a skeletal equation, but first you need to know how to write the steps to any chemical equation. First, you need to know the prefixes. Mono 1, di 2, tri 3, and so forth. Ionics or acids must have charge numbers to crisscross. Third are the single elements and Hofbrinkel. Don't forget to say if it's a liquid, gas, or solid. Don't forget that crystals and metals are solids. The yield sign tells us where the change has actually happened.
To balance an equation, we are going to have two elements, the subscript, which is the number of atoms on one part of the compound, and the coefficient, which is the number of atoms of the element. We need to have the same amount of atoms on the reactants and in the products. For that, we can make a table, and the amount should be the same on each side of the table. In a balanced reaction, we should never change the subscript.
There are 6 types of reactions. Single replacement, which is when one element takes place of another element in a chemical reaction. Synthesis is when elements are combined. Decomposition is when a compound is split. Combustion, which is the burning of a hydrocarbon when oxygen is always a reactant to form water or carbon dioxide. Double replacement precipitate is when both reactants are aqueous and one of the products is a solid. Another form of double replacement is when an acid and a base are present in the reactants. You can identify this by an element starting with an H and another element ending in OH, which is going to give you a product of a salt and water.